getting accused of being like a fucking basically.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, but that happened early. That happened like right at the beginning. So that wasn't really part. Like they knew that wasn't a big. Well, I guess no, that was during the part of it. So that could have. That shows you how much shit I'm in. It's like I lose track of it all. That's ancient history now for me. But yeah, I guess I went through that, and then the New York Times. I talked to you a little bit. They spent a year in like doing an investigation on me, like a full fucking year. And the New York Times. This lady was a savage. Like she had a Pulitzer. She, like Bill O'Reilly got in a whole fucking ton of trouble with Fox News. She was the one who did all that. But I have no skeleton, so they really didn't find anything. But they tried.
Did that hurt?
What's
Did that
that
hurt like your integrity, like with people that
the
you
first
know
one? The first one did because it's just made up. It to a degree. It's just more scary because somebody can say something about you, and when I say there's 0.00000 element of truth to what was like written about me the first time, there's zero. Like, I hooked up with the girls, but none of, and it's bullshit. And worse than that, like I started unraveling where it came from, and to me, it's pretty obvious where it came from, but nobody gives a fuck. Like it was some of my arch enemies really deeply involved in. And I got a lot of enemies. I mean,
you've cracked a lot of bottles.
Champagne bottles. Yeah.
Right.
There is an update to the story though, because you had a lawsuit brewing against Insider. Who's like that's your like more Insider's like your more.
I lost
fucking.
that
What's that scumbag fucking dude's name again?
Blodgett, Henry Blodgett, who's a legitimate crook. Like when I say, sometimes I throw so many things out there, but like he literally got kicked off Wall Street because what he was doing. Let's say, just take any stock. Let's say Prime. All right. Say Prime was publicly traded or Barstool or anybody.
Okay.
He was basically going out and saying publicly, buy this stock is great. And then they had emails of him being like, this stock sucks. So they brought that up. He got kicked off Wall Street, never can trade. That's who runs this fucking company. And they're a paparazzi operation. They own like this thing, I think it's called Bilk in Germany. That is literally, that is what they do.
We got a German big news outlet.
Yeah, and that is it's like the paparazzi.
They're pumping dumpers?
They sensationalize shit for celebrities. It's like big headlines to get page views. So they did the thing with me, and then you had to pay to read it. So yeah, that I sued them.
But did you drop the lawsuit? So that's the news. That's the news today.
Well, yeah, that's a little. So originally I lost. Like you, basically what you have to do, we file the lawsuit. And then it goes in front of the judge, and the judge basically wouldn't even look at it. It had nothing to do with the facts.
Was it defamation?
Was it? Yes, it was defamation. It's basically, no, I don't think it was actually defamation. Basically, we had to prove Business Insider flat lied. And to do that, it would have to be like they printed Dave Portnoy was in jail. I never went to jail. But everything they said, they're like, well, the girl just told us. It's not, basically in the report, the judge said, like, incompetence is not against the law.
Right.
Like you're a public figure. Everything they're saying you agree with. It's like, did you have sex with the girl? Yes. 5 years later, how do you prove that she wasn't uncomfortable in her brain? And I want to turn all the emails. I want to see all the communications. I couldn't get to that point. I boil it down like this. Johnny Depp, the Amber Heard case, he sued the newspaper first and lost. And then he's like, fuck that, I'm going after Amber. Because the newspaper, which is the Washington Post, and he sued somebody, the Sun or something, they can always be like, we just listened to what they said. Like it's not our job to be the fact checkers.
Because they had text messages, they had all that stuff.
They had a couple, but my thing was always like, all right, you have communications with me, sometimes graphic, being like, hey, come over and let's fuck. Like they posted those.
Yeah.
But I have like 20 after we had sex being like, hey, let's hang out. I had a great time.
Not posted.
Those weren't posted.
Yeah,
so
classic.
I'm like, how do you have
cherry picking?
Right. How do you had to have had all the messages. You didn't post anything positive for me. It was all, and there wasn't one thing for me that would support my case. So it's like, how is that possible? That to me proves you had an agenda. That's what we're suing, that there was actual malice.
But isn't that just representative of media direction in general right now? Like every story that's told is one-sided.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's what happened with the New York Times thing. So after this, which I feel like anybody who like logically looked at the facts of the case, I mean, we've told you there's this, everyone knows the Call Her Daddy shit, right? That's a well-documented thing.
Rooftop meetups.
Yeah. And Sophia Franklin, who probably doesn't like me, and I did hear her say the other day she didn't think I did anything wrong, but whatever. She brought this kid, the MILF Hunter. Anybody who watched that show, he's like the kid who wore the mask.
Yeah.
His name's Mooch. He used to work for me. I hate him
Bro,
too.
me and Dave have talked. Talked about this on shows about 12 times.
I
bro.
hate
He
this
fucking
kid like
hates this
fucking
kid.
poison, all right? I literally call him douchebag to his face. Anyways, the breakup with Call Her Daddy happens. Those two, Mooj and Sophia, they go together and he's helping her produce her podcast.
show, yeah.
Turns out one of the girls, there's only 2 girls who had allegations against me. One of them's a legit porn star. I'll introduce you, Mike. One of her is like a legit porn star right now. Like, that's what she does. She wasn't at the time. Started her OnlyFans the day after these allegations came out. She went on the No Jumper podcast and literally said she was fucking Mooj, and Mooj was who introduced her to Business Insider. It's like, is anyone listening to this?
Hey there, if you like the clip, make sure to subscribe or check out this recommended clip to my right.